Well, Bronson Arroyo announced today he will undergo Tommy John surgery, ending his season for sure, which is just too bad because he pitched so well for so long.
I was going to see if I could ride it without the ligament. And some guys have done it, by making their form really strong. But it's just, throwing 15 pitches or 20 pitches in a game is completely different than throwing 110.
He had an MRI. His elbow wasn't feeling great. That MRI revealed that he needs reconstructive elbow surgery or Tommy John surgery.
Baseball, pitching injuries, and the surgery that more and more young players are having. NBC's Janet Shanley.
Every time you pitch a baseball at 90-plus miles per hour, you stress the ulnar collateral ligament beyond its normal breaking point.
57% of Tommy John surgeries are performed on teens aged 15 to 19, only 25% on older Major League Baseball pitchers. According to a 2015 study in the American Journal of Sports Medicine. Tommy John was a 31-year-old pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers when he damaged a ligament in his arm in 1974, undergoing a brand new surgery that would eventually be known by his name.
Pitching is what doctors today call an overuse syndrome. Throwing a ball 90 miles an hour, 120 times a game, puts an unnatural stress on the arm. In 1974, it caught up with Dodgers star pitcher Tommy John.
Because of the elbow you're looking at right now. It belongs to Tommy John, who at All-Star break was the winningest pitcher in the National League. And Tommy, you had a 13-3 record. You never picked up another victory after that.
Right, Tony. I tried to pitch. I think I waited about 8 or 9 weeks and rested some and tried to come back and throw. And it just got to the point to where I could throw maybe 3/4 speed. And it just came down to the point that the season was growing short, and I had to make a decision to get my arm operated on. And I like to think maybe this is going to happen to me, where I can come back next year and play next year.
How are you?
Good.
In Los Angeles, Tommy John visits the surgeon who treated him, Dr. Frank Jobe. Tommy John recalls the fateful pitch.
I can describe the pitch vividly because it's something that's going to stand out in my mind forever. It was July 17th, 1974, and we were playing the Montreal Expos, and actually I had a 4-0 lead in like the top of the 4th inning, top of the 5th inning, and I was 13-3 at the time, and I was rolling along. I felt to my 14th win, and I threw the one pitch, and right as I got, I'd say halfway through the pitch, I felt this banging sound in my elbow and this sharp pain.
Tommy John had ripped a critical ligament in his elbow. No pitcher had ever returned from this injury. A new approach was needed.
The procedure that we decided on when Tommy injured his arm when the ligament was ruptured was to make some attempt to replace it with another structure. And what we did was to replace a ligament with a tendon. A ligament, of course, is something that holds bone to bone and keeps his elbow from coming apart as he brings it through in a pitching motion. A tendon is made out of the same material with a little different chemistry and is used to connect muscle to bone as a motor power.
So what they did was to take this tendon, the palmaris longus, out of Tommy John's uninjured right arm. Then, after drilling 4 holes, they used it to hold the bones of his left arm together. The tendon, they hoped, would replace the torn ligament. But there was a further problem. Tommy John's ulnar nerve had become irritated by pitching. So it had to be repositioned in a safer place. Until this healed, he could not move his fingers.
I normally grip a baseball with these 2 fingers closed and just grip the ball like this. But when I first started out, my hands were like that, and I would forcibly have to take the ball and put it in my hand and I couldn't move my thumb up on the side. I couldn't make that movement with my thumb. The only movement I could make with my thumb was curl my thumb under. So I would have to throw the ball like that and curl this thumb under and throw it just like this. And I would, and I mean, I couldn't just do it like so. I would have to take the ball in my glove, put my hand on it like this, bend my thumb under, throw the ball against a wall in spring training down in Vero, pick the ball up, put it back there again like that, and throw the ball.
Tommy John worked for 2 years before his successful comeback. But no one who saw the extent of his injury thought he would ever pitch again, including Dr. Jobe.
I told Tommy that we were running a pretty big risk, that he would not ever pitch again. And the reason I felt that is that I had some understanding of the stresses placed on an elbow. I think the difference between throwing hard enough to get a major league batter out and throwing hard enough to hurt your arm is very minimal. It's a very small margin that they're working with in pitching, so that if your arm isn't able to take a maximum stress, then you're not able to pitch effectively. So that with that in the back of my mind, I was not sure that we could bring him back to that level of strength and ability. And that's why I told him that there was some question in my mind about his returning, and that perhaps he should have an alternate career in mind.
On the ground, feet in front, feet together.
Dodger Stadium, a month before spring training.
3 strokes first day, see how you're playing.
Star relief pitcher Terry Forster is another patient of Dr. Jobe's. He recently had an operation to remove loose bone chips from his elbow.
Oh, Sharon told me. Why not?
Oh, my God. Okay, back slowly again. Head it down slowly.
With trainer Bill Bueller, Terry works on regaining strength in his arm.
Out on the fingers.
Doctors today don't want to make the old mistake of sending an injured pitcher back too soon.
Steady.
Until his arm heals completely, Terry will practice throwing, but he won't pitch a game.
Come on in.
Another lesson was learned from the sad fate of pitchers like Dizzy Dean. The way a pitcher throws a ball, his body mechanics can magnify the stresses that pitching normally puts on the arm.
Body mechanics play a great deal of importance in pitching, because with the use of proper body mechanics, you're able to maximize your pitching ability. At the same time, you're minimizing the stresses that are placed on the arm. And so you're able to widen that little bit of margin that the pitcher works in.
Faulty body mechanics are part of Terry Forster's problem. To help him correct it, Dr. Jobe works with pitching coach Ron Peronowski.
You see, this is the one thing I think we're going to try and change on you, from throwing across your body. Now, as you see, so we put this white line down here, and I like to see you throw your normal way, and what we're going to try and do is open you up a little bit with your delivery. Okay, now you can see where that foot is landing on that side of the line. Now, what I'm going to try and do is open you up a little bit.
By opening up, the stress of pitching will be spread through the body, not concentrated on his arm.
That's it, that's right. Now, if you can just get back into that particular delivery and be consistent with it, it's going to take a lot of strain off that elbow. That's good.
So if Terry corrects his body mechanics and doesn't pitch too hard too soon, his chances for a full recovery are good. It remains to be seen whether he will make as strong a comeback as Tommy John.
Yeah, I could throw the ball pretty good before I hurt my arm. Now I'm throwing it. I've been timed on the radar gun in excess of 90 miles an hour. You know, and people look and they say, you know, do you throw it that hard? And not all the time. but there are certain times, certain games that I can pop the ball pretty fast.
And now Tommy John is on top.
John getting into a bind here in the fourth inning.
Here he is at the 1978 World Series.
This is the kind of situation Reggie likes. 3 balls, 1 strike, nobody out. Fourth inning, no score. The stretch, the 3-1 pitch. Strike 2 call. Jackson tried to check his swing. Springstead said it was on the inside corner. So it's 3-2 to Jackson.
Tommy John is called the man with the bionic arm. His recovery is due to hard work, a long rehabilitation, and sophisticated surgery.
Jackson waiting. And the 3-2 pitch to Reggie Jackson. Strike 3. Jackson strikes out.
The thing that it's done for me, it makes me appreciate baseball more. And it makes you, you don't put so much emphasis on life and death, wins and losses. I know now that it's better to go out and lose a ball game and be able to pitch than it is to sit up in the stands eating a hot dog and a beer.
But the ligaments inside, because of their age, are baby ligaments. They're not developed properly. And not only that, it seems like the old school little exercises that we did to strengthen
the small muscles and the small scene, you want to get these strong.
Exactly.
Not your chest, not your bench press, not your, right?
Well, you have an example right here. I was never big, I never bench press, but I never had any elbow problems. My elbow's still straight. Some of those kids you see nowadays are little
They can't extend their arm all the way.
They can't extend their arm all the way because of the big muscle mass that they put on, and the ligaments stay weak. So what they do, they shrink. When you force it with a lot of power, you break them.